Looking at the actual controls the rest of the way around, as mentioned, we've got our lower limit, our upper limit, the plus and the minus buttons to increase or decrease value. We have the start button, which also serves as an enter button, if you will. Anytime you've made a change to that flashing parameter, you can leave it alone for a few seconds and it will accept that as the new value. Or you can push the start button, which is equivalent to pressing enter, to accept that as the new value. Below the start button we have speed. When you press speed, you will see a numeric value and it will be flashing at you. The default every time it's turned on or a new motion is selected is going to be a speed setting of 2. You can select it up to as high as 5 or drop it down as low as 1. The next button down is pause. You can select a pause at the lower end of the range, and you can select a pause at the upper end of the range. Each of them are independent of each other. The first time I press the pause button, it will say either pause low or pause high, and a number will flash at me. The next time I press it, it will say the other one. So pause high, press again, pause low, press again, pause high, and so on. The value of 0 means that there is no pause. And as we said, pressing the plus or the minus, in this case the plus, will give us a value in seconds. We can go up to 900 seconds with each of the two pauses, and that will give us up to 15 minutes worth of pause time for 900 seconds. So you can get a nice low load, prolonged static stretch at the end range in either direction. The next button across is the timer button. Timer is equivalent to the timer on an oven, for example, where you're baking something like a batch of cookies. You would set a value in the timer, it would count down and stop running after the time is gone. You'll notice when I first push the timer button, it says timer disable. That simply means that there is no time value in the timer. The machine will run as soon as start is pressed until someone presses stop. If you put a timer value in, first of all you select timer, push the plus button one time, you'll now see timer 00H01 min for 0 hours and 1 minute. You can increase that time by clicking on the plus button or pushing and holding, and it will scroll quite quickly. You can go up to 23 hours and 59 minutes with that. When the machine counts down to 0, it will stop. The next time you wish to use it, instead of saying timer disable, there will be a timer value of zeros in there, and you simply need to select timer, press the minus button one time to go from the zeros back to the display saying timer disable. The last button before we get to the stop is force. Force is a safety feature that has a load threshold, keeps the machine from forcing its way through something that it should not, whether that be some sort of mechanical obstruction, or it be some sort of guarding or tissue obstruction within the joint that's being worked on. In any case, we have relatively high settings with a bar graph with 6 different steps on it, or we can decrease the values all the way down to just one little bar. The lower that setting, the fewer the bars, the lower the force threshold that would cause the machine to stop at whatever that force is and turn around and go the other direction. It will continue to behave that way until whatever that issue is addressed and resolved. Generally speaking, most customers are going to leave the force setting at its highest to avoid any kind of problems with the machine not behaving as they think it should. Stop button, bright red, so that it's visually easy for any client to see. If they need to stop it for whatever reason, they can find that button quickly and easily. Lastly, I will just mention that there is a button in the middle called Program. There are 16 blank spots in memory that a user could program a variety of parameters into each of those program slots, and then simply select a program for a given day or for a given treatment, for a given surgeon's protocol, whatever the case may be. The user's manual explains the use of programming quite easily and nicely, so if you'd like to use that feature, please refer to your user's manual. That is the Centura Shoulder CPM hand control. Thank you.